This is the EVP Podcast.
Hey guys, we are back with another episode of the EVP Podcast here. It's Ghosty in the house.
And I'm Beaker.
And we got a special guest.
We have a special guest.
Yeah, my name is Jeremy Robinson over at the Conjuring Tree.
He is the other owner. We had his husband Andy on a couple months ago. When was that?
Yeah,
he was on.
That was a couple months ago on the Conjuring Tree episode.
And we said we were going to do a part 2, and here it is.
Part 2.
I heard you guys mention me in the background. I was like, oh, maybe we should talk to me at some point.
To be continued, we said.
That's
Here
what
we
I
are.
heard. I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah, you totally missed out.
I did it on purpose.
You had enough of
Not
that.
really. I had enough of you weirdo.
You don't ever get enough of me.
I hang out with Jeremy all the time at the store.
That's true. Good times.
See? I was there for like 2 hours last week.
I'm just going to start popping up uninvited over there now.
Don't.
Yeah.
It's my safe place.
I'm like, guess who wanted me? Guess who wanted me here?
Everybody's welcome at the Conjuring Tree.
So what do we got on today's menu?
So we're going to talk a little bit more about divination. And I know the last time when we had Andy on, he talked about how Jeremy did graphology. So we're going to have him explain to us exactly what that is and how he got into it. On your spiritual awakening, whatever you feel like sharing.
You want me to just launch right into it?
Sure.
Launch away.
Well, it all started long ago when I was just a little one in Bakersfield, California. This is a true story, actually. High school, freshman year of high school. Of course, I was interested in writing, but I was taking a Spanish class, and one day we're turning in an essay, and we had a substitute teacher, and she introduced herself as an FBI profiler. And she said, if you turn in your essays, I'll give you a profile, just based on your handwriting. And she didn't speak a word of Spanish. So, we knew she wasn't cheating, but right away she said some things right off the bat that nobody should know, just looking at me. And that blew my mind. Absolutely blew it. And I already knew that I liked handwriting, but I thought, you can tell things about people? Just by reading handwriting. So that was my first interest, or I guess my introduction to graphology, handwriting analysis. And then fast forward to...
And that just like stayed in your mind for that many years.
Oh, me and the library card were best friends. I went to the library and checked out every book on graphology, and I learned so much. That was... When was that? In the 80s? Back in the 80s.
So you got like
early 90s.
10 books sitting in front of you right now.
Oh, I brought my stash.
He's got his stash.
That's like the top 10 best.
Well, what if they ask me for like some references? Maybe I can just like cheat, and I have them right here.
Nice.
And when you have an occult bookstore, makes it easy. I just grab these and brought them.
That makes it easy.
Yeah, so I've been reading books, and then my awakening you mentioned happened about 10 years ago, so almost a decade ago, and something switched in my brain, and I guess my brain, my spirit, my soul, and the dreams started coming, and the sounds started coming, hearing things, seeing things, feeling things from different people. And then if you talk to different empaths, they'll usually mention how they get overwhelmed at parties. That was my life every weekend. I'm like, I used to be able to handle partying real well, but suddenly I can't. And I think I'm freaking out with anxiety. That's what my awakening was like. And then a friend mentioned a few books that I should probably read about energy and dynamics and dealing with other people's energy. And that launched me on a new journey. And then fast forward to now, when I have my own occult bookshop, my pagan metaphysical shop, where we actually have psychic readers that come in. And I thought, well, people enjoy having a reading, like a graphology reading, because I already know this stuff. And sure enough, I have like a whole pile right there of readings that I've collected. Like, that's an 1.5 inch thick stack of just papers that people have written on for me.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
That's my practice file right there.
I'd say that's 170 pages.
Maybe more. I don't know.
I know. I had Brandy. She went and did one with you last year. That's what the bell's for. Whenever we mention Brandy's name, we ring the bell.
Oh, there it is. Hi, Brandy.
We used to when we first started the show, we'd always be like, Brandy told us this, Brandy told us that. And then we got a bell, and now it's just a thing. I literally have people that will email me if we miss the bell ring. But I did one with you last week, and it was scary accurate. Not really scary. I was fascinated.
It was not
Scary and
planned.
fascinating.
I was
He
scared
just
and
showed up,
fascinated.
and I was like, "Hey, we should get a sample from you and see what happens." And it was just like a one-line.
You was
thing.
like cutting his beard. And asking him to fill up a cup.
He was doing a spell jar of protection against me. No.
I don't remember what we talked about. My husband calls it reader's fog. When we do a reading, we don't remember anything before or after.
No, I totally get that. There's some stuff that I remember with certain people, but for the most part, they're like, people come back to me and they're like, "Hey, you remember when you told me this?" And I'm just like, "Nope, don't remember it at all."
That's true.
Because the information that we're giving as readers, I don't do as readings as much as you do, but it's not for us as the reader; it's for the person we're reading. So, yeah, that's makes total sense that you don't remember because it's not for you.
Yep, that's exactly what it's like. I don't remember.
So you have gotten the occult store running for, was it like 3 years now?
Almost.
2 years?
It's 2 years, yeah.
That's a cool little store. If you guys haven't been there, or if you missed the Conjuring Tree episode, go back and listen to that one. If you are interested in going to the store, it's located on
1775 South, or 1775 West, 7000 South. So it's right on Redwood and 7000.
Yeah, it's a cool little store. They got all sorts of stuff. They sell this really good cleansing spray there.
Spirit
I know
Rose
the guy
cleansing
that makes
spray.
that.
They sell Spirit Rose cleansing spray. They've got wands. I believe you make brooms, don't you?
I make brooms. I make smoke cleansing fans as well.
You do all the wood stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The charcuterie boards with the cute witch sayings on them.
I like
Yes.
those.
Yep.
Brandy's got one hanging up in her kitchen. They got all sorts of cool stuff there. They sell crystals, the books for like anything that you can think of. That's where I got one of my paganism books.
Magic wongs.
I've got my wand, not a wong. If it's not wong, it's right. What else? They have all sorts of cool stuff. Oh, I really dig the statuettes.
Oh, yeah. Different sizes. We have mini ones. We have large ones of almost every pantheon.
I got a couple Greek ones. I think I have like Hephaestus and Poseidon, I believe is what I got. I know Brandy bought Lilith.
We have two styles of Lilith, one crazy and one less crazy.
Less crazy.
We have two styles of Poseidon, too. One with fins and one without.
And of all the stores, like the metaphysical stores or occult stores that I've been to, you guys are the only ones I know of that carry different herbs.
We have an entire herb wall.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We bag them ourselves.
So if you're looking for like spell stuff, that's the place to go. Conjuring Tree. They're not paying me. Except for when they buy my sprays.
This show's brought to you by
This Spirit Rose. Found only at the Conjuring Tree.
That's a bestseller. It's a really good product. It smells amazing. We actually use it when we cleanse and charge our store.
Nice.
As you should.
It's got a bunch of citrus in it, plus sage and cypress and stuff like that.
Nice earthy
Salt.
smell.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm hawking my own products on the podcast.
Hawk away.
But yeah, I know you guys got several different readers. I know Andy talked a little bit about Ken, who does rune readings. And that's something that's on my list of things to do is to meet up with Ken and get a reading there. But they have several other readers. But we're not going to go too much into that. Today we're just gonna focus on the graphology. So, do you want to tell us? Is there any more you can tell us other than just like handwriting analysis, or what is like your process that you go through when you're giving someone a reading?
Well, first of all, graphology is just handwriting analysis. It's interchangeable. You can use either word. Graphology was first termed in 1830. In France is the first time we get that word graphology. But if you look back in history, like the study of how you write and how it's connected to different personality traits is, you can find evidence back to like.
Just gonna turn this a little bit.
Closer?
There.
How's that?
That sounds better.
Sounds really nice.
1,000 years BC is when you first start seeing like the study of handwriting in China, in Japan, Egypt. And then you see evidence of it throughout Greece, Rome, and then you fast forward to the 1920s is when you first start seeing it taught in schools, mostly in Europe, Germany, France, England, and most psychology degrees required graphology as a course, a prerequisite.
That's cool.
In Europe, is not so much in the United States. In fact, when I went to go,
Because we're ass backwards here.
yeah,
We don't offer the fun stuff.
when I wanted to find a correspondence course, I had to find one in England. They didn't have one.
Really?
Jeez.
I think they have them here, but like the one that was affordable, the one that I chose was Oxford School of Graphology.
I'd rather go abroad anyways.
I know, right?
You are abroad. Yeah.
So you asked me about the process, right?
Yes.
So I often ask my customers in my store just for a sample. I can get a signature, or I can ask them to do just like one sentence, like whatever comes to mind. Take a deep breath, clear the mind, and then whatever like fills the empty space, let it flow onto the paper, and then hand it over. And we can do a quick little sample test, like a 10-minute reading. But if we're in a scenario where we're doing a half hour or a full hour reading, I need at least 5 lines. I mean, no more than 10, but like 5 written lines with a signature at the bottom. And we can launch into topics like money matters, past traumas, romance, how you handle stress or don't handle stress, like how social are you if you're a recluse, how you handle, do we talk about money? Your control habits, if you're too controlling or not controlling, personal boundaries, there's so much we can talk about. And then you can combine that with tarot if you want, like a whole new layer. And that's what I like to do, just a handwriting analysis with tarot. And I'm just flipping cards all around the piece of paper that you hand me. That's my process.
So if someone wanted to like book a session with you, how would they just come down to the store, or can they do it online?
You can go to theconjuringtree.com and you can book a session there, or you can call the store.
Okay.
That's crazy how deep that it can go.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh, you're gonna find out. Like I said,
Wow.
I had a session with him, like an impromptu. It was just kind of, I was there hanging out, trying to set up this interview, actually this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Have we done one for you?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Here's some paper. Let's do it." And I'm like, "Okay." And I was a little spacey because I was ordering pizza at the same time because that's what I was getting for lunch that day before I went to work. But
and I just have clipboards on my person everywhere I go. Like, ooh, let's get a sample.
Give me a
exactly how he did it. Yes, not that kind of sample, weirdo. But it was actually the process that he went through. What I found fascinating was a lot of the times you were actually flipping the paper upside down and looking at it from a different perspective. You're not just looking at it like straight on like anyone else normally would read.
I read the sample from the bottom to the top because we always put our best foot forward when we're writing a sample, and you think like, oh, I'm going to really shine. He's going to think this is the best handwriting ever. And the first 2 lines are amazing, and then the third one is just crap. And then the true colors come out. So by the end of the sample, I get honesty. And so I start upside down.
It's actually really cool.
That is.
Like I said,
pretty cool.
his reading he did with me was fairly accurate. I mean, I know Jeremy just from going into the store, but I don't like know him on a personal level. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that he was telling me was really accurate. It's stuff that most people don't know, which is why I didn't do that on this episode. But what I did do is I collected some samples for him so he can do some readings. Is there anything else you want to like cover, or is there any books that you want to recommend if someone wants to get into graphology?
Oh, I have lots of books to recommend. Are you referring to this pile of books?
Yes, I am.
That I brought with me again. I just carry them around on my person, right? The ABCs of Handwriting Analysis is a really simple book for starters. That's by Claude Santoy. But one of my favorites is The Definitive Book of Handwriting Analysis by Mark Seifer, PhD. That's a really good one. And there's like hundreds of other books on the topic that you can. But this is what I had at my store.
Okay. So these are probably some of your go-tos that you're going to recommend to people starting out.
Yeah, if someone was interested, like a client walked into my store and they wanted to learn more, I would point them at these books.
Cool. That's good to know. All right. Do we want to get into it then? Or
I'm ready.
all right. So in this envelope here, for those of you on YouTube, this unmarked envelope, I have 5 samples that I gathered beforehand.
Gosh, you got yours read off the episode. Now I kind of want to pull mine out.
Sucks to be you.
Do you have one in there?
Yes,
Yeah, I do.
it is.
Okay. And we have them in the envelope because I don't want to know. I don't want to be biased. I don't want to know who I'm reading. I just want to do a nice clean reading.
Let's have Brandy pick one at random
Brandy.
for Jeremy to read here. Oh, my phone farted. I forgot to put it on silent.
Yeah,
We're professional
I'm over
podcasters.
here thinking I'm quacking.
No, I'm quacking.
What's quacking?
What's quack-a-lacking?
So what I didn't notice was if this was written left-handed or right-handed. I'm
See,
not able to tell that right off the bat.
I can't tell you either.
So I touch the paper. I run my fingers over it because I can feel the pressure of the pen. And this one was written in black pen. I don't know if your readers can see, but it's like a full written script. You probably can't see that, but like a whole page. Thank you to whoever wrote this. You gave me a lot to work off of. First of all, sorry about your schedule. It looks like something happened with your schedule. One of two things. Either you're the type of person that really likes everything to fit into their specific bucket and you're very organized, or something has happened with your schedule that has thrown you off and your brain is telling you, I'm uncomfortable with this. This is not my usual jam or my usual process. Also, this person looks like a very fun person. They're forward thinking, their life is on track, and they're friendly with other people. It looks like they have a pretty healthy past. I can see based on the left side margin that they have a good relationship with the past. It wasn't like always happy, but I don't know. If you can see the curvature of the margin on the left side, it goes in and out. It's kind of wavy.
Oh, okay.
That tells me that there's just some normal ups and downs in the past. The left margin is the self and the past. The right margin is the future and the unknown. What I can tell is that this person, this writer, probably prefers the past over the future. The future has a lot of space. On this right-hand side, there's a lot of space, and that tells me that there's something in the future, or at least the unknown, that is less comfortable. This person likes to have their safe space. So
Interesting. You're not even reading what they wrote. You're just going
Oh.
over the way that it's structured and everything. That's pretty
I
incredible.
usually give readings and I hit on key topics, and then I go back and reread and realize that they actually just wrote everything that I just told them, but I didn't read it. The writer, I don't even know if that's somebody in this room, so I hope we're not going to talk about really like the deep embarrassing
So
stuff.
I can tell you this one is not somebody that's in the room.
Okay, and that's okay, good. And that's okay, but
But it is
probably listening on
one
this
of our
podcast,
listeners, yes.
and I absolutely love that. Thank you for giving me a sample. The expectation of yourself goes up and down over time. Some days you'll wake up and think like, I got this. I'm setting my expectations really high, and then other days you'll wake up and feel like I'm not feeling good. I'm gonna sell myself short. I'm gonna underpromise. I think that's normal. Like, just as a normal human, a professional human being, I feel like that is a normal thing. But if you start to see the crosses on your T's get further, like lower than just middle, if you think of like the T as crosshairs, like, or a cross, like, or a plus sign, the perfect plus sign says your self expectation is right on par. The lower you get with the cross on your T, the less you expect of yourself. And if I see that consistently, we'll be talking about like management of depression and maybe even suicide if you get really low, if you cross your T's at the bottom of the stem. So that's not what I'm seeing in this sample. What I'm seeing is just that there's like highs and lows, and that's totally normal. Your O's are open at the top. There should always be like a little bit of a gap at the top of your O's, and that represents openness, that you can speak with the heart, that you can trust. And there's a sincerity when you're speaking about your feelings. So that's a really good connection skill, a social skill. Are we okay to talk about chakras? Have you talked about chakras?
Yeah.
Podcast. Good, healthy lower chakras. Even your sacral chakra is activated right now. That would mean intimacy. Intimacy is really good. You have a lot of energy focused on intimacy right now. That's great. Now I'm looking at other indicators for intimacy. I would say partner with somebody that really understands your feelings a little bit more, that can draw out that sense of safety when it comes to intimacy. Good attention to detail. A little advice: you can't control everything, and this isn't like a consistent like theme in your life, but like you can't control everything. So if you feel like you're getting aggravated or frustrated because something is out of control, don't worry about it. That's normal life. You don't have to feel like you have to control it all the time. There's a microphone in my way. Hold on.
So
I'm
it's
gonna
okay.
set it.
You can set it
off
off
to
the
the side. There's a sensitivity to criticism here. I feel like that's normal too. When I was young, I had that same indicator. So the loop on the stem of the D tells me that there's a sensitivity, especially to criticism. And I don't know if this is a male or female, but the loop on the D tells us other things about your relationship with your mom. Then I look at the spacing between the lines. How far apart the lines are would tell me how strong your boundaries are between you and other people. These lines are pretty close together, but they're not intersecting. I don't see any like tails of these letters. I know you can see the tails of the letters don't dip down into the next line, which tells me you have some pretty healthy boundaries between you and other people, and that's really good. The fact that the letters are nice and close together also tells me you have pretty good communication skills. You relate really well to other people. I don't know how much time you want me to. I could spend my sessions go a half hour to an hour, so I don't know if we want to fill up like the whole thing.
We could probably do like 10 minutes or so.
Is it okay if I look at the signature now?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, I just.
Okay. Signature tells me a few things. It tells me about how you want to be seen in public versus your private life. The fact that your signature is nice and curvy, is obviously very well practiced, tells me a few things. It tells me that the script, which I consider to be your life script or your life plan, is in script, and your signature is really nice cursive. It tells me that you kind of have like two separate personalities. You have your outside and your inside personality. They're both slanting the same way, so that they're both very friendly. But you have the way that you want to be seen is more fluid, more friendly than when you come home and you probably take off your shoes and you just relax and you think, oh, I don't have to project this image of friendliness anymore. Like I can just be myself when I'm at home. But the placement of the signature center right tells me that you are a friendly person, that you command a room. You'd probably be in a good career where you're in front of a group of people. I'm talking teachers or a presenter or like a trainer. There's also a sense of an old soul about you. I'm going to flip this upside down.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about we do that? Also, I want to say that the script from the bottom to the top looks about the same. And so when I said that we put our best foot forward when we start writing, The script is the same, which tells me that there's integrity. What I see is what I get with this person. They're very friendly and plain, and there's not a... Well, I think I can trust this person. What am I looking for when it's upside down? I'm turning off the predictive text of my brain, and I'm using just my left brain, and I'm asking myself, where do I see the most ink on the page? Or do I see how any words are written like markedly different from any other words? Like, there's a few. What is this word? Hold on. Summer. Okay, now I'm going to actually read a sentence. You're looking forward to a day in the summer. That's a theme. That's something that's on your mind. And your brain, when you wrote this down, said, ah, yes, that is true. I'm looking forward to a particular day this summer. So that's a theme in this written sample. Let's see if there's any other theme. Oh, that one. I hope you have the best time in the wave pool. That sounds like a really good time. Whoever you, I don't know if...
So I'm just going to do first names. I'm not going to tell anybody's last names, but this one's from Terry.
Terry. Have a great time. Terry, it sounds like you have a really good day planned out this summer. So that's about what I'm getting.
Okay.
For this first sample.
So I think I had 5 total. We can try to do them all, or we'll just go through them. And
or I'll do them really fast.
We'll get done what we can get done. I will pick one at random here. We'll do this one next.
Okay.
And then you can pick the next one. You'll probably pick your own.
Now this sample is written in
it.
script. It's written in black ink. It looks like the slant starts out nice and straight, but as it goes down, I can see that the slant starts to slant downward, like the lines are slanting downward. And so I mentioned I always start at the bottom because I feel like there's a lot of honesty down here at the bottom where the slant is strongest, and it's slanting downward. So probably not having the best day whenever we wrote this. This was either a bad day. If you find that your handwriting is consistently slanting downward, maybe you want to talk about or ask yourself, why are we having a bad day all the time? So, and that's more of a mood thing. I mean, our moods change all the time. So maybe some days that we're going to slant up because we're feeling very optimistic that day. It just so happens that that was not the case whenever we wrote this particular sample, feeling a little bit down. If we were in person, I would ask some questions. Why are we feeling down? Do we need to talk about something? What's triggering that? And then maybe I would link it to some other indicators in the script.
I can tell you this was written this morning.
It was written this morning?
Yep.
Okay. This person is more practical. I can see how they're more invested in the day-to-day. They don't get caught up in like the past or the future too much. They're just like solidly in the present. Probably a little bit more shy. Not so much like a social butterfly, but a little bit shy. If you can see me now, I'm looking at the I'm looking over the script. I'm using my pointer finger and I'm like pointing to all the different indicators that I think should be going together before I say what I'm about to say. You're like, what is he gonna say?
Ghost is over here like, this is fascinating.
Oh no, lean in. It's fascinating. This is gonna
He's
be good,
he's trying to see past my big ass. He's like, I didn't realize I'm blocking the process, so he can't see what you're doing.
Can't see anything.
I can see what I'm doing, what you're doing. I was just moving around with my arms out and making elbow space.
If we were in person, I would say we probably ought to talk a little bit more about the intimacy and why that's not happening. There's a whole bunch of avenues that we could go down with there. There may be a little bit of fear involving like intimacy or even making friends. This person prefers to be alone. This person would rather just have their own free time. Their battery charges more when they're alone. They're not so much they're not the life of the party, and they're okay with that. This person is on a journey in the higher chakras, So they're starting out a new venture, whether that be spirituality or higher learning. Why do I say that? Because the cross on the T and the F, in a few other instances, it arcs upward, which tells me that they're reaching for something higher. They're starting in the middle zone, like the cross on the T is right in the middle zone, and it curves up. There are 3 different zones in handwriting. There's the upper zone, the middle zone, and the low zone. The lower zone is where we get the tails on our Y's and our F's, if it's in cursive, or our G's. That's the lower zone. That's your lower chakras. That's your subconscious drives and desires. So sexuality is down there. Intimacy is down there. Your basic human needs like sleep and food. If you have a really developed lower zone, then I would say you're getting plenty of sleep and food and intimacy. Your human needs. Your middle zone is your day-to-day interactions, your thinking, your job, small decisions, even your joy, because joy is in the now. And then your upper zone is your capital letters or the tall stems of letters like T and L. That's your upper zone. And that's where your higher learning is, your spirituality, your more abstract thoughts. So there you go. That's like a primer on the zones in handwriting analysis. I see an openness. Your O's are open at the top just a little bit. Every now and then. As I look over it again, I think, well, maybe. I don't know. We'll probably talk about trust. That's something that we should bring up. How much do you trust to reveal about yourself with other people? And maybe what triggers that? What helps you trust people? A message coming through would be that life has ups and downs, and it's important to just roll with the punches. Maybe partner with people that are positive, that are mentors to you. Partner with people that make you feel happy.
I feel happy. I think I'll go for a walk.
We'll be stone cold in a moment. Okay, I'm going to pull off, I'm going to reveal the name.
This one looks like it is Annika.
Annika. What I'm looking at right here is a small distinction between the first name and the last name of the signature, and that tells me that there's a little bit of a break in family relationships. And if we were in person, we'd talk more about that, Annika. I don't know, in this day and age, everybody has something is going on with our family, right? Totally normal. But I think our relationships can be better if we talk about it more. Reveal what's going on, maybe what's subconscious. We'd probably talk about money matters too. Sometimes the money can get away from me, Annika. Just sometimes. Anyway, okay, there's that one.
Okay, you want to pick the next one?
Well, should I just pick mine and say
You
it's
can
mine?
pick. Well, I mean,
And then we can just go.
that defeats the purpose of the post-it notes.
It's do me.
Do me.
You can, whatever you want. Just grab one.
Okay.
Okay.
I do want to say thank you to everyone that provided the handwriting sample. This is
I just
great.
wrote a bunch of random nonsense.
That's what
Everybody
you
did.
do.
Okay.
The last one was song lyrics.
Okay.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't want to say this because I was the distance between the signature and the stanzas above is very wide, and it tells me that they weren't feeling extremely connected to what they were writing, it wasn't from the heart. So, but I didn't want to say that on the podcast.
Nope.
But
that's what I'm here for.
now we know.
Yeah, that one was 100% song lyrics. And this one's ghosties.
This one's okay, but right off the bat, I would say mysterious.
Right.
This image that you project to the rest of the world, there's a sense of mystery to it. You don't want to be completely understood.
I have a few different
Wait,
signatures.
hold on. Let him do the reading.
Okay.
And then if he asks you questions, you can talk.
When I do
And then
readings
at the end, we can discuss.
that's
Okay.
exactly how it goes. It's a back and forth, and we can actually talk about every little.
I just don't. He has a tendency when he gets readings to volunteer information.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Okay, then I'll do the reading then.
So he'll lead you in the reading, and I try to avoid that. So
mood swings every now and then. Like something will happen, your mood will just change like halfway through the day, and you'll be like, I don't know, I want to feel the way I feel, and that's how it's gonna go. Also, you second guess your feelings, like when you're sharing from the heart. You ask yourself, did I just say that, or should I have not said that, or like. He's laughing over there. See, I'm seeing more indicators of that, actually. It's the communication with other people. You question whether you should have said what you just said. That said, I do see that openness. So the top of your A's and your O's is open. You have that nice little space in there, and that if you vision that like a cup, it's not supposed to be like an egg that's fully like closed off. Your A's and your O's should be open at the top just a little bit, and that means that your heart is open. You're ready to share from the inside. The slant here is interesting because if I read from the bottom to the top, your slant is almost like completely horizontal, and that tells me that your mood is just fine. The way you're feeling about life is not like down, but then at the top, when you first started writing, you had a very strong slant. So that tells me that we need to ask more questions about why do you feel like you need to put on this mask of holding it together? Or actually, no, it's the other way around. Why do you feel like you need to put on a mask that you have, I don't know, like some personal things that you want to talk about, but really you're just fine on the inside? Isn't that'd be something we could talk more about? I don't know if you want to have a full-on like therapy session.
We don't have to get like crazy
podcast.
Personal because I mean,
Jeremy,
we don't
why
have
did you
crazy.
say that?
We don't have a
Jeez.
crazy amount of time, but we can have
No, we have time.
We can have some fun.
we have time. Don't be
We can have
scared.
some fun.
Let's dish.
It's your reading. It's totally up to you. But we have time.
That's okay. Or I can move on. I mean, there's
No, you
plenty here.
can go to town.
Okay. I'm going to echo something that I said earlier, is that sometimes, like, the impulse to want to control your life or control specific situations and people can sometimes be strong. And so just remember, like, when you're feeling yourself frustrated that something is out of control, just remember, let go. It's okay. Life is going to take care of itself. Also, I just want like a yes or no. Do you? Is it true that you second guess what you tell people, like what you open up about?
On some things, yeah.
Okay. So why did I ask that? Because you have a loop on the top of your O, and the loop is on the right side, and that's how you relate to other people, like on the right side. And so if there's a large loop, especially if you like scribble over that loop on the O more than once, it tells me that there's something that has to do with sharing with other people that you're putting some energy into. And I wonder, what is it about the message that you're telling other people that you don't want them to know, or that you feel like you have to overshare, maybe? Like control the dialogue? I don't know. That's more of a something you can just keep to yourself. You don't have to like reveal the secrets on your own podcast.
Yeah, don't reveal the secrets.
Jeez. Well, maybe you shouldn't have
Get him,
had a graphologist on.
get him drunk enough, he'll reveal all of his secrets.
Watch me.
When it comes to working with people, sometimes that works well and sometimes it doesn't. On the occasion, you'll think to yourself, like, maybe I can just drive this bus by myself and I don't need anybody else to give me input. And then you just like take off. And you don't want other people to tell you how to drive your bus. But anyway. No?
No.
He's trying to kick me off the show.
Like,
I
wait
knew
a
it.
minute, no.
He's like, this is a ghosty show now.
Well, I've been driving my own bus for a little bit now. Not with the show.
No, I know.
I need help on the show.
That's my metaphor. Jeremy is famous for having the worst metaphors ever. He said something about driving a bus.
Now, that doesn't mean go out and buy a bus.
I have a bus now.
In 2 weeks, we'll have the ghosty bus.
But Jeremy said, okay.
Like I wasn't paying attention. I just heard something about driving a bus, so I went and bought one.
It's electric.
No.
Doot, 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 doot,
What I was
doot.
really talking about was like group work, like when you're handed an assignment and it's a group project, and one person usually takes the lead on the group project. That's you. You every now and then you're like, I got this. Vroom.
I was looking for
Yeah.
the person that would erase everybody else's names.
Oh.
Nobody but me.
Just kidding.
Okay, with you, we are going to talk about boundaries because every now and then there's going to be a situation where your energy gets a little bit mixed up with other people's. This could be like just in work or in relationships. And so just remember that you have your own personal space, your own personal time and energy. And when you feel those things being taken away from you by other people, that's a flag that says I need to check myself. I need to use the word no more often. I need to have some alone time. Or when you feel like you are becoming a little bit more dependent on other people's energy for your own. Just remember, I need some personal time to roll with the punches on this one. That's all.
Uh-huh.
What do you think?
I think he's on to something here.
Somebody out in the audience is like, yeah! He stole my energy.
DVOs are going to be messaging us after this one. It's like, it's me. He's stealing my energy.
It goes both ways. It goes both ways. We just need to be aware of our own personal boundaries. Just check ourselves once in a while.
No, that's definitely good information for people.
Okay, good. That's what I'm getting for this one. I don't know if we have time for more.
We do.
Do
We're,
we? Okay.
we have 20 minutes, so we could probably get both of them knocked out.
Oh,
I think we have 2 more.
Okay.
sweet. Unless if you wanted more.
Do you want more?
Was there any more juiciness in there? You can give some juice. Feel free.
Okay, the way that you start your sentences out is really big, and that's like larger than life. And then the size of your characters gets smaller and smaller as you go. So you present this really best foot forward kind of idea, and you come in loud and proud, and then you're like, oh shoot, and then you shrink back down. And that's probably how your energy goes. Like when you're approaching someone, you come in with this loud energy, and then you're like, oh, I'm shrinking, losing energy.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Think about that. Like
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
said, I like walk into a room all feisty and whatnot, and then I just sit on the couch in a corner and don't want to talk to anybody.
Wow.
Thanks, Owen Wilson. Wow. Didn't know he came to the show today. I thought Patrick Wilson was our
He's
go-to.
always here.
Wow.
Wow.
That was a fun little tidbit.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to the next.
The other one.
Okay, this one
This
you
one was
won't be able to
print- this was
fill.
printed.
This one's the one that came from Canada.
Oh, thank you, Canada. This person leans to the left margin quite a bit, so I would say that there is either some. Well, I'm gonna hold off on what I'm about to say. Just that happens to me all the time. Like, Jeremy, don't say that yet. You have to find like other markers, and then it makes my clients really nervous about what he's about to say. I'm looking at the boundaries on the left-hand side, and it's really close to the left margin, and so that tells me there's something about the past that you're really close to. Actually, I don't know how. It's hard to tell based on this copy or the print how far to the other margin is. So maybe
I can do that.
maybe
for you.
we don't need to talk about that one. I will say that there's a really good boundary. Someone was raised with some very strong values as a child, and this person is able to begin their sentence at the same spot every time, and that tells me there's a kind of like rigidity to the way that they were raised. And if you're smart, you're like piecing together, wait a minute, the way that he was raised, the beginning of every sentence, yes, that represents the past. Like, starting at the same point at every time means that somebody trained your brain to always find the appropriate moment, always find the appropriate way to speak and act. So that's why I say rigidity. Oh, there's a playfulness. The way that you dot your I. has a kind of circle to it, and that is a sense of playfulness. So probably a sense of humor, a sense of you find that cute little something that you do that attracts people, endears people to you. A cute little circle for the dot on the I.
I don't know if that helps me. This is the original photo they sent me, so you can kind of see where the edge of the paper is on the left.
I see. I appreciate how this person's writing slants up, and it gets even more slanted as it goes. So that tells me that you're probably feeling pretty good when you wrote this, but you're feeling even better after you wrote it. So I appreciate that trust in providing this sample. What's funny is that they were also pretty reserved. Like when they first started writing this sample, their slant is a little bit to the left, like the letter slant, slightly to the left, and that tells me they're a bit. They started out mistrusting. They weren't feeling super friendly or endeared to me, but as you went, your writing slanted more to the right. That indicates friendliness, openness, ability to relate to other people. I want to ask this person, what happened in your life? You had a major life event recently, something that changed the way you live, and you're taking your time to deal with that. And so I wish you the best on dealing with that personal life event. Why do I say that? Because the O has some markings on the left side. I know we mentioned like a loop on the right side a minute ago. That's like your communication with other people. But if you have a loop on the left side of an O, that indicates that there's something about your personal life, about your own person that you're dealing with, that you're not quite super trusting of. So anyway, that's happening here. Looks like your O is mostly completely closed at the top, even apart from that little loop. And so again, that tells me we should talk about trust. You probably really need to feel like you can trust people before you open up.
I can tell you that much is true for this person.
Okay. Good to have that feedback, huh? Really good level of expectation. You wake up in the morning feeling good, like you can handle life. When you wake up, you're like, I got this, and then you get it. So, good job. Oh, let's talk about stress for a minute. Stress and trying to fill your daily life with so much. Like, there's a lot going on. I'm seeing pressure coming down from above, so you're probably going to want to stretch real good, because I can see that there's probably some issues with your back or your shoulders.
I can also vouch for that.
Yeah.
They have back issues.
Why? Because it almost looks like someone squished their handwriting so that it's no longer just a normal, tall, like symmetrical letters, but it's like squished super short and wide. And that tells me that there's like psychological pressure coming down, and we're filling our life with just things to do. A lot of things going on. So we're probably going to need to talk about career, what's going on, maybe family issues, maybe, I don't know, personal issues that are just taking up your time. I would just say, I don't know, think about your time and how you value your own personal time. See if you can fit in some yoga or meditation or something to break up like that constant need to always be moving. I forget if we already talked about this, but like I did mention find alone time, but like you recharge your battery more when you're alone. So that's probably a good thing for you to find. Okay, I'm going to check out the signature. Again, why are we looking at the signature? Because it tells me how you want the world to view you. Oh, larger than life. Illegible. So
She assured me that's her actual signature.
okay. That tells me that there's a certain mystique or mystery to your professional life, the person that you want to be viewed in the public is a little less understood than your home persona. But it is in the center of the page and is relatively close to your script. That tells me that you're good in front of people. I find that interesting. So then we're going to talk about how you're an introvert, but like you're good in front of people.
She's extremely introverted.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Okay, then that makes more sense. The leaning to the left, and then... Can you say the first name? Do you know this person?
Yes, it's Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Or she goes by Ness.
Oh, I like that. Yes. I wouldn't have guessed that by your signature, and that's okay, because our signature doesn't have to be like... doesn't have to be legible. It's our monogram. Like, it's just a symbol that represents who we are. But I wouldn't have gotten Vanessa out of that. It looks more like waves on the ocean. Well, that's what I'm getting
Okay.
from this one.
All right, we have enough time. We can do the last one.
All right.
You sure? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, everybody's waiting. Oh.
The paper's crinkled. That's my fault, not the person's fault.
Well, I really appreciate whoever gave me this sample. It looks like you got more interested in it as you were going. So I appreciate that. You opened up a little bit more. In the first sample, we talked about schedule. I think I'm going to echo that again. There's a kind of cadence and a rhythm to your life. So I don't know if you like that. That's great. You like everything to fall into the right bucket. You like to plan out your life really well, or that something has happened that is less comfortable with the schedule change. So anyway, that's the first thing that I'm picking up on this one. We have a wandering margin. It starts pretty far away from the left side, and then it gets closer and closer to the left margin as it goes, and that tells me, we're getting closer to the good stuff, to the past life. We're getting closer as we write. We're getting closer to the real me. So that's why I say thank you. You're opening up to me. I appreciate that trust. I'm wondering why there's a dot over the A. I'm going to guess that the pen just kind of wandered and dotted an A. I know you're watching. You're like, nuh-uh. Well, yeah, there's a dot on an A right in the middle. Normally we dot our I's. So now I'm looking for where's the I that's missing a dot. Why? Because that's money. That's money matters. How we dot our I. That's also just attention to detail, and it's remembering where we put stuff. So if we have the stem of an I with no dot, accepting that the dot is like several letters to either side, I'd be like, we lose things, or we can't find your keys, or you're misplacing money. We need to talk about that some more. There's a sense of busyness, not business, but like busyness. Lots of things filling up your time. How do I know that? Because the way that you make your S's, you don't even pick up your pen to carve out the next S. You just leave it, because ain't nobody got time to pick up your pen. Let's just keep going on with this word, even though it's in script. Something's going on with the word dad. See, now I go back and I read it. I think I can read this. I'm proud and blessed to be a dad. Congratulations. I just noticed that the word dad was gone over several times, and that indicates, there's something about the theme of being a dad that's important to this writer. And I'm glad. You can tell your family that it shows in the way that you write. And we have 2 signatures. You know what? I see this pretty often. People will sign their signature like multiple times. Why is that? Because we just like to see our name. We do. And we have different ways of signing our name. This one looks very similar each time they wrote it, excepting that the first way that we wrote it, there's like an extra arcade on the N. So it's alum. like an M
Oh, yeah.
instead of an Allen.
I think that's probably why he signed it twice.
Oh, probably.
He
like,
told me why, and I wasn't paying attention.
I put an M instead of an N. I'm gonna rewrite that, but I did it in ink. Oh no! Now it's gonna be 2. Yeah, I know, but that actually means things. It means that you didn't like the way you were presenting yourself at the first time, and so you're gonna go back and rewrite it, and that indicates that you're concerned, not concerned. You value how other people see you. Appreciate that. See the dot on the I down here is just fine. It's like right over that I. Again, right there. It's like right over that I. Right over the I, right there. So that time that they like dotted the A, I'm going to forget that. Doesn't matter. This person has a hard time sharing from the heart. Because the A's are completely closed almost every time. And the O's are almost always closed at the top, every now and then. So again, that's a trust. That may even be like trusting the self, and asking yourself, is this something I can share? Is this something that's interesting to other people? Do I want to share? Does anybody care? Yeah, maybe ask yourself, do people want to know you that well? Do people want to know the real you? Your heart? They do. They really do.
I do.
You do?
We do.
I want to know you. He said with a really weird voice. Jeremy, you're making it weird. Okay.
He'll probably laugh when he hears this.
Good boundaries. Like the distance between your lines is really good. Really good boundaries. The size of your letters between the upper, the middle, and the lower zone is really balanced. So I'd say really good job on balancing all your chakras out. That's excellent. You have a good, like a full life. Generally positive, upbeat, optimistic. That's wonderful. Russell. I like Russell. Like literally, like this guy seems like a nice guy, just based on this handwriting sample. And that's that.
Okay.
Excellent.
Those are the 5 samples I was able to get.
And they were good samples.
If any of these people want to have further readings with you or go more in depth with them, they can just reach you at the store, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. Or theconjuringtree.com, or just call The Conjuring Tree.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be looking at people's handwriting now. People I know that lose their keys. I'm like, let me see how you dot your I's.
He's an expert now because he watched you do 5 samples.
I'm a complete expert now. I'm like, you know what? You have a problem losing things, don't you? You know how I know?
You can be. Just read these books and get them from The Conjuring Tree.
That's good stuff.
So it's been a couple months. I think last time your husband on was like the end of June or beginning of June. So do you guys have any other like classes or events that are coming up in the next month or two?
Well, I'm actually giving a course on handwriting analysis on September 6th.
Oh, there you go.
And you can book your spot by going to our website, theconjuringtree.com.
That's cool. You should definitely do it. I think I actually had a lot of fun with mine. And I know when we did Brandy's last year, you actually got the tarot cards out. And
Right. I want to go more in depth and do another reading and get more into let's go all the way.
And how much is he going to have to pay you for that?
Let's go all the way.
$40 for 30 minutes.
Is there a special room in the back for that?
There is.
You've been in it.
I know you've been in it.
Don't tell all my secrets. I told you that.
But if you're interested in like runes or more like the tarot reading or pendulum readings, we also have our reading exchange. It's called Tea and Tarot, and that's going to be every Thursday starting in September.
Nice.
Every Thursday from now on, which I love. And we're going to be having classes every Wednesday, and they're all listed. Like classes about witchcraft, of course, graphology, or human design is coming up next week. So
Human design.
That was the other cool one I want to do.
Human design, we're going to have Esther on the show and have her go over what that is, because human design it's really interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know how to describe it, but it's another one of those things. Yes.
How you're built.
A little bit of like the stars, how the stars aligned when you were born, a little bit of your natal chart, the I Ching, a little bit of psychology. It's all in there, and you get a printout, and she can explain what it all means and why you are the way you are. That's Esther Graves.
And then I know, like I said, Ken Edwards does the rune reading. And then I know you have a couple other. You have Remy, who's, I believe, he's an intuitive, right?
He's a medium. He can talk to the dead.
I've worked with Remy before. I've actually worked with most of your readers outside of the store. And by most of them, I mean Esther and Remy. Two of them.
They're wonderful.
I don't know if I've worked with Jennifer, but I know that she's really good at what she does as well. So basically, the last year or so, when people are like looking for a reading, I usually direct them towards your store.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
I usually only endorse people that I believe in what they can do, and I have this habit of. That's why we did Brandy's reading last year, is because that was my way of testing you out to see how good you were at what you do.
Oh, a test! I like that.
I do that. I don't tell people I do that, but I get different readings done from different people.
He just told everyone right now.
I just told everyone. Now everyone knows my secrets.
Now
See, your secrets
know.
are revealed. My secrets are revealed.
You're just giving it all away.
I'm sure I've mentioned it before.
So wait a minute. I didn't see your name on any of these. Did you? Were these any of your?
None of these were mine. I left mine with you.
I know you didn't want
So
to.
it might be in that pile. I
It
don't
is
know.
in that pile. Actually, I don't know if it's in that particular pile. I have a few piles.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's my practice pile.
Oh, yeah. And what's your social media? So people can go check you out on...
Yeah, we're on Facebook at The Conjuring Tree. We're on Instagram at The Conjuring Tree. And then our website, theconjuringtree.com.
Easy to find you.
I've crossed most of these words out, but that is my handwriting.
Oh, I like it. You're also an introvert. Because you lean left a little bit, and a little bit of like irritability or like impatience.
Shh, quiet over there.
I hear a yes. The way that you made your A, right? That's an A, right? Is that an A or an H?
Yeah, that's an A.
The more the more angles you have in the way that you make your A, the more mystical you're getting. And maybe even a little bit of like creating that sense of mystery and icon about yourself.
What's funny is looking at it's like all the A's that I've done. This was a list that we had for a different show, and I was crossing off the names as we went through them.
You start off like real nice at the top, and by the end you're like, crap.
That's exactly how my sample was last week too. The first two lines were like really nice, and then the rest of them were like small and closed off.
The more the A looks like a star, the less I would trust you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just so you know.
Key points there, people. Hey, we got an investigation coming up
Do we?
at the Ritz.
The Ritz on Saturday, August 19th?
19th.
At 8 p.m. The link for that is on our social medias. We have it on Instagram, and I created an event on Facebook that will take you to Eventbrite. Tickets are $60. This might be the only time we get to go back. Like we said before, the Ritz is officially closed as far as the theater goes, and we don't know how much longer they're going to allow investigations.
So, tickets are limited. Hurry up. Get on it, folks.
And then, our social medias that I just mentioned, where you can find the links, is evp.pod at Instagram and Facebook. Or if you want to email us, if you have questions for us or Graphology, if you have questions for Jeremy and you can't remember how to get hold of him, which shouldn't be too hard because it's theconjuringtree.com, you can email us at evp.pod@gmail.com. And while you're doing all that fun stuff, also check out our affiliate link to ghoststop.com. That's where we get most of, if not all of our paranormal equipment. I've got a couple things that I want to buy. I know that we mentioned last time the Ovilus is back on there. They're currently out of stock on those. I really want to get those tracer lights. I should probably get those before.
Just get them.
I'm just going to get them.
Just get them before the
So
investigation.
yeah, check out our affiliate link and then buy stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. Ghost hunting is fun.
Ghosty, don't play that.
Peace out, butterflies.
This is the EVP Podcast.